Okay, this is Two Wolves Lay a Little Wolf. We were told, were we not, by many seers and gifted ones, that there would be major radiation news. There we go. Close to the 3rd anniversary of Fukushima. Here it is. 12 March, that's today, 2:02 p.m., in the Vancouver Sun, article by Larry Penn. Troubled waters. Nuclear radiation found in BC may pose health concerns. Here it is, everyone. Discovery of Fukushima radioactivity raises concerns for local marine life and the effect it may have on humans. It just about makes you want to go to bed and go to sleep forever, but, we don't want to go to sleep. We're finally awake, right? Chum salmon such as these spawned out next to Kilby Provincial Park on the Harrison River. Here they are, spawned out. They die dead on the riverbank, and right. They are being tested for evidence of radiation from the 2011 Fukushima nuclear plant disaster in Japan. Photographs submitted by John Preissl. That's a good shot, John. All right. I'm going to go to Google Earth for a moment to give you perspective. Google Earth, greatly condensed. This is Vancouver. Vancouver, Greater Van, right in here. This is the Fraser River. Follow me up. It would be problematic if I zoomed in at this point, so I'm just going to, you go do your research. But this is the Fraser River, spawned in the beautiful mountains, and then up near Hope. And partially, there's two sources, the lake and then upriver here. Forms the mighty historical Fraser River. And this river then flows and empties into the Strait of Georgia. Here's Vancouver Island, Victoria, and then Seattle's down here, a little bit south of there. And this is all the Strait of Georgia. Okay. And then this is essentially all the Fraser Valley. All right, we'll go back to the story. A radioactive metal from the Fukushima nuclear plant disaster in Japan has been discovered in the Fraser Valley, causing researchers to raise the alarm about the long-term impact of radiation on BC's west coast. Examination of a soil sample from Kilby Provincial Park near Agassiz has, for the first time in this province, found Cesium-134. Soil sample, Kilby Provincial Park, it's in the mountains, has for the first time in this province found Cesium-134. Further evidence of Fukushima radioactivity being transported to Canada by air and water. That was a surprise, said Juan Jose Alava, an adjunct professor in the School of Resource and Environmental Management at Simon Fraser University, in an interview on Tuesday. It means there are still emissions and trans-Pacific air pollution. It's a concern to us. This is an international issue. Cesium-134 has a half-life of 2 years, meaning its radioactivity is reduced by half during that time. But of course, as we know, it's done its damage in the first 2 years. Its presence in the environment is an indication of continuing contamination from Fukushima. A more persistent danger to people and marine life is radioactive Cesium-137, which has a half-life of 30 years and bioaccumulates in the food chain, as we know. Researchers developed a model based on the diet of fish-eating killer whales, along with the levels of Cesium-137 detected and predicted less than 0.5 becquerels per cubic meter, a measurement of radioactivity, by other researchers in the Pacific waters offshore Vancouver Island. Models suggest that in 30 years, Cesium-137 levels in the whales will exceed the Canadian guideline of 1,000 becquerels per K for consumption of seafood by humans, 10 times the Japanese guideline. It's a reference, the only benchmark we have to compare against, Alava said. He said recent federal government cutbacks have placed a greater burden of testing and monitoring for aquatic impacts on academics, non-governmental organizations, and even private citizens. The Canadian government is the one that should be doing something, should be taking action to keep monitoring to see how these contaminants are behaving, what are the levels, and what is next. It was a citizen, Akisano, who provided SFU with the soil sample from Kilby Park near the mouth of the Harrison River on November 16, 2013. Samples of Chinook, sockeye, and chum spawning salmon nearby are also being analyzed for evidence of radiation. While the soil sample tested positive for Cesium-134, the exact level is not yet known, although it's thought to be low. The plan now is to test soil samples from Burnaby Mountain closer to Vancouver. Earlier research by Chris Starosta, Associate Professor of Chemistry, and his colleagues at SFU, has shown evidence of iodine-131, which has a half-life of 8 days in rainwater and seaweed in BC. Okay. There's a second page. I don't want to burden you with a very long video, but go to page 2. And I'll just show you the Harrison River. Well, you've heard of Harrison Hot Springs. Okay, here's the Harrison River, which flows into the Fraser. Okay. Now, so this is where the samples were taken. This is where the contaminated soil was found. And then going back to the picture, when one understands the salmon life cycle, you know that, of course, these fish are contaminated. That's all for now. I'm so sorry. I can't do any more right now. This is Two Wolves Out. Take care, everyone. Mitakuye Asen.